A day in the life of a 911 dispatcher. They say heroes wear uniforms. They say you can see courage in the eyes. This is a day in the life of a 911 dispatcher. 5:58 a.m. The quiet before the storm. It always begins with silence. That heavy, eerie silence that only exists before an emergency center wakes up. The lights are dim. The room hums with machines that never stop running. And somewhere down the hallway, footsteps echo. The next dispatcher stepping in for their 24-hour shift. Coffee in hand, sleep fading from their eyes, they slide into their chair. The same chair someone just spent all night in. Anything big? They ask quietly. The off-going dispatcher leans in. Their face looks tired, almost drained. Gas leak at Castle Pines. A cardiac arrest around 3 a.m. One major alarm. Everything else is normal. For now, normal. That word carries a different meaning here, because normal in a 911 center still means dozens of emergencies. People screaming, people crying, people dying. And your job is to stay calm. As the night shift heads home, the day crew settles in. Headsets adjusted, screens brightening, radios buzzing alive. Another 24 hours begins. 7:12 a.m. First call of the day. The phones don't ring here. They drop. Sharp, piercing tones that cut through the air like electricity. 911. What's the address of your emergency? The dispatcher's voice is steady, calm, measured. On the other end, someone is breathing fast, almost hyperventilating. A child having difficulty breathing. Pale, dizzy, weak. The dispatcher instantly leans forward, eyes locked on the screen as information begins dropping into the CAD system automatically. Address verified. Phone number locked. GPS pulling coordinates. While one hand types, the dispatcher's voice takes control. Is he alert? Is he breathing normally? Has he vomited blood? Any pain? Every word matters, because answers decide dispatch priority. And dispatch priority decides whether someone lives or dies. Within 45 seconds, the call is already packaged and shipped to the radio operator. Within another 15 seconds, crews are being toned out. A minute. That's all it takes. A minute to save a life. As paramedics rush toward the home, the dispatcher stays on the line, guiding, instructing, steadying the frantic parent until help bursts through the door. Then the line disconnects, and the next emergency begins. 9:40 a.m. Another call drops. One call ends. Another begins. Here, you don't get breaks from adrenaline. This time it's different. A heavy voice, shaking with fear. Someone collapsed. No pulse, no breathing. Cardiac arrest. Listen carefully, the dispatcher says. Shoulders tensed, heart pounding, but voice perfectly even. Put the phone on speaker. Lay her flat on her back. Place your hands on the center of her chest. The caller is panicking, crying, yelling to someone in the background. But the dispatcher doesn't break. They can't. Push hard and fast, just like this. I'll count with you. Don't stop until responders take over. The dispatcher counts compressions, one by one, in a rhythm that keeps someone alive who otherwise wouldn't be. Minutes feel like hours. Your own pulse thunders in your ears as you listen to the caller gasp, sob, scream, and yet your voice stays steady. This is the part the world never sees. The silent battle between life and death happening through a headset. Finally, sirens. Paramedics burst in. The dispatcher exhales for the first time in 10 minutes. Call ended. Another crisis survived. 11 a.m. The control center. Every console here is a universe. 5 screens glow at once. Mapping, GPS, CAD, radio channels, phone lines, text to 911, transfer lines, airport alerts, fire alarms, crew calls, police coordination. Everything you need to manage chaos sits in front of you, but it's up to the dispatcher to make sense of it. Multiple radio channels hum through the headset. Some are selected, some play faintly from speakers overhead. It's a symphony of organized chaos. Weather alerts pop in. Hospital statuses update. ER full. Psychiatric unit overwhelmed. Pediatric beds limited. Every piece of data matters. Because when you're guiding someone through CPR, or talking a teenager down from a panic attack, or calming a driver trapped in a crushed car, you must know exactly who is closest, what unit, what route, What resource? You're not just answering phones. You're coordinating an entire emergency network from a chair, behind a screen, with thousands of lives depending on your decisions. 12:30 p.m. Shift family. Most people picture dispatchers sitting silently in a dark room, but what they don't see is the family behind the scenes. In the break area, someone fires up the grill. Another chops tomatoes and lime. Someone laughs about a call from early morning. Not because it was funny, but because humor is sometimes the only shield you have left. It's a small oasis in a job where tragedy never stops. 7 people share one fridge. Each person has a shelf, a drawer, a corner crammed with snacks to survive long nights. Someone brought jalapeno poppers. Someone else made tacos as a farewell meal for a dispatcher changing shifts. They eat together, talk together, reset their minds before the next storm of calls. And then, a tone, a beep. Lunch is over. Duty calls again. 3:18 p.m. The call every dispatcher remembers a scream. That's the first thing the dispatcher hears. Raw, terrified, piercing. There's chaos in the background. Shouting, slamming, footsteps. Someone is injured. Someone else is running for help. The dispatcher instantly shifts into crisis mode. I need you to listen carefully. Are you safe? Is anyone else hurt? Stay with me. Don't hang up. The voice on the other end breaks. A loved one unconscious, possibly not breathing. And suddenly the entire center feels the weight of one person's world collapsing. Dispatchers are trained for this, but nothing. You can never be truly ready for the rawness of human fear. Still, you guide them. You hold their fear together with your words. You become the lifeline, the calm in the middle of their storm. Sirens grow closer. The caller's panic softens just a little. And when help arrives, you end the call. But you never forget it. Some calls stay with you forever. 6 p.m. Shift half over. The sun is setting, but dispatchers don't leave. Their day lasts 24 hours. The room grows darker, colder. The weight on the shoulders grows heavier. Fatigue creeps in quietly, like a shadow. But you can't let it win, because emergencies don't wait. They don't pause for you to rest. They don't care how you feel. Another alert flashes. Another phone tone pierces the air. Time to work again. The night rush nights are different. Calls get darker, lonelier, more desperate. Accidents, domestic disputes, mental health crises. People calling because they're scared, or because they're alone, or because tonight feels heavier than usual. Dispatchers hear things the world never will. The secrets whispered in fear. The last words someone speaks. The cries of someone begging for help. You listen. You guide. You bear the weight of voices that break your heart, but you cannot break with them. That's the job. 2 a.m. Staying human. As the night drags on, people take turns resting. A few minutes in the recliner. A short nap to recharge. But even then, you're never fully asleep, because the tones can drop at any moment. And when they do, you spring awake, heart racing, adrenaline spiking, mind instantly focused. Most of the world is sleeping peacefully, but dispatchers, they remain awake so others may live. 6:40 a.m. The pass on the sun rises again. A new crew walks in. You gather your notes. You clear your screens. You brief your replacement the same way someone briefed you 24 hours ago. Gas leak, cardiac arrest, trauma call, airport alert, major dispatches, everything they need to know. If you want more powerful, emotional, and real daily life of professionals from the front lines of our world, hit subscribe, tap the bell, and stay with us. More stories are waiting in the shadows.